What is the number one question that you're hearing, whether it be in personal conversations, professional boardrooms, or even in relationships? How do I be successful, or how can I be successful after a pandemic? Well, I've got some great strategies that I want to be able to share with you on how to do that. So if you will, take the next few moments to listen to me as we're going to talk about how to be successful after a pandemic. Let's get into the content of this video. All right, so we are here to talk about what does success look like after a pandemic. And so I want to be able to provide over the next few episodes of our Tactic Thursdays, which is a time where we go about discussing an issue or matter that relates to you personally, professionally, or relationally, and how to overcome that matter. And so the matter, of course, today is being able to be successful after a pandemic. All of us over the past year, year and a half, possibly even more, have had to make very difficult decisions, have had to make adjustments, have had to, if you will, reconfigure our lives due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And so now as we're beginning to find our way out of this pandemic, we're going to be able to talk about some strategies on how you can be successful when it comes to being able to navigate your life after a pandemic. And so what I want to be able to focus on today is a very simple statement, but we're going to unpack it, if you will, bit by bit. And the statement is this: usually when you're looking to find an answer, the answer is in the core. Once again, I'm going to say that statement one more time. Usually when you're looking to find an answer, the answer is already derived in its core. And so what do I mean by that particular phrase? Is the fact of the matter that we are trying to figure out how do we go about making profits now that we're living in a life after a pandemic. We're trying to figure out how we're going to meet, if you will, organizational objectives after a pandemic. We're trying to figure out how will our relationship look now that we've been able to come through and beginning to come out of a pandemic. People are trying to figure out, what does my life even look like now coming out and after a pandemic? Well, the answer to all of those things is it is now a great time to re-examine your core. And what do I mean by that? I mean being able to look at your core values. So once again, I want you to be able to take some time to look at your core values. So I want to just briefly introduce this concept of core values today. And it's simply this: core values is the following. Who am I when everything else is stripped away? And what is my reason for being? I'm going to say that once again. Core values is all about who am I when everything else, so my job, my relationships, if I'm an organization, my profits, my, if you will, contacts, if I'm, a government entity, whether it be my jurisdiction or my municipalities, who am I when all of that is stripped away, and what is my reason for being? If we're able to take the time to really examine our core values, you'll find that you will almost always, every single time, be able to be successful, because everything you do should and ideally would go back to your core values. And so being able to have and being able to understand your core values is going to be very, very crucial to what does success look like after a pandemic, because the reality is this is arguably the first time, unless you're an individual that's over the age of 105, which I know there are certain individuals that are in this world, that have lived through a pandemic. And so because we're all experiencing this for the first time together, it's going to be so very important that we re-examine our core. I'll be able to break down, if you will, in the next episode, a little bit more about core values and the various areas around them. So make sure you check out our next episode of Tactic Thursday for that. Until then, I hope this episode has been of great blessing and benefit to you. Of course, we want to make sure that you are part of our Wayoneers network. So go ahead and make sure that you click a thumbs up to support this channel, as well as also to support this video, as well as also click on that subscribe button so you can be aware of all of the brand new content that we produce each and every single week. I'm DC Howard. I am the Care Coach that stands for Career and Relationship Excellence, and I look forward to seeing and speaking with you soon.